why it's important to understand that good women do exist. They are rare and they are women, so they're not perfect. Just like us, we're men, we're not perfect. But I've noticed that there's just a lot of hate and vitriol for women in the black pill and out communities, and in some of the pill communities as well. Now, I'm not saying like get on your knees and worship women and all that shit. I'm definitely not saying that. The only person you should worship is yourself, okay, in a healthy way. There's an epidemic in the world, in the Western world, about having to find a good woman because feminism has failed women, has made them fat, insufferable, and just quite frankly, unlovable and lacking the ability to love. I just want to say, like, statistically speaking, not all women are bad, terrible, trash people. You know what I mean? Like, there are good ones out there. You do have to train them. I talk about the SIS method, which I tell them is seduction, indoctrination, and servitude. The SIS. You seduce them, you indoctrinate them, and then they enter your life and they serve you. And there's nothing wrong with a woman serving you because you serve her too by providing financially, by protecting her, by providing a lifestyle from her. You know what I mean? So that's what I noticed with the feminists is like they think servitude equals slavery. They're so broken they don't even know how to love somebody. And that's why their life ends up with them being alone and completely miserable, alone and miserable in life. To set the tone, we're going to read from my favorite book in the Bible, but I just want you to listen to the words in Proverbs 31. It's ancient wisdom. It's good till this day. Proverbs 31, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Very true. The heart of her husband do safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. Again, a woman will serve you if she loves you. It will be a mutual servitude. She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. A woman that really loves you, who knows her place, and even saying that, like, feminists get triggered, but everybody knows their place. Like when you join a corporation, you know your place, right? The accounting department doesn't go over to the IT department and be like, hey, I think you should code this and that. And the IT department doesn't go to the accounting department. It's like, oh, I think you should, file these taxes this way and do this kind of payroll that way. You know your place. Like The Rock said, know your role and shut your mouth. And that's what most people don't want to do. Everybody's got a big mouth these days. They want to give their 2 cents and it's not even worth a 1 cent. So she knows her role, and a woman who knows her role, that is taking care of the house, you let her do it. She wakes up, she cooks, she cleans, takes care of the dogs, takes care of the children, takes care of the food, the menial tasks that men who quite frankly don't want to do it. They shouldn't do it. A man should be focused on protecting the household and bringing in as much money as possible. That's what his primary focus should be. And the woman should be using the resources the man provides that he allocates to her. He doesn't give his whole check over, but he gives her some money and says, maintain this household, keep it clean, keep a peaceful atmosphere, make this house full of love, make this house full of prosperity, feed me good, healthy food, let's live a clean life, and let's enjoy and build life together as we enjoy our limited existence on this planet as we both irrefutably approach our inevitable deaths. And we've been doing that since the dawn of time. The only reason America has started a walk off the deep end, quite frankly, is because we have gotten the governments involved in the families, and now women are financially incentivized in the United States to divorce a guy just to financially bleed him, and it's enforced by the states, by the governments, and the police. And that's why everything's so screwed up. Unless the laws change, America is going to circle the drain. And quite frankly, I see it happening at a very fast rate. They don't have these crazy laws in Japan. They don't have these crazy laws in China. And look at Japan, one of the lowest divorce rates in the world. Look at China, literally on its way to global dominance. Men know their roles, women know their roles. Japan and China, when we tell them like, oh yeah, there's like 70 something genders, they're like, what? Like we figured that out in like the year 500 BC that there was just 2 genders. Let's continue. She considereth a field and buyeth it with the fruit of her hands. She planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength and strengthened her arms. Takes care of herself. She doesn't become a fat mess. Fat people are a liability in your life. period. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good, her candle goeth not out it by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor, yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. Means she's not afraid of winter coming or bad things coming because she knows she's done her part to take care of her family. When Miss MLD cooks my meals, when she leaves, she cooks a couple meals for me, packs it up. She, puts a little bit of fruit and some things for me. She leaves me little notes. She does some laundry. She folds up my clothes. She makes sure that I'm set and taken care of for at least a week. And again, it's not because I've enslaved her. I'm not feeding her right hooks and knocking her up, punching her in the ovary and beating her ass and oppressing her. No, she does it because she loves me. And she does it because at the end of the day, she knows that if she wants to be with a high value man, there are prerequisites to being with me. And she's happy. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sitteth amongst the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. And I'm a big fan of women having little side hustles that they do, because when a woman has a family and children, that's her top priority. Usually, she doesn't need to be go out and be CFO, CTO, and all that. Those women are few and far between. A woman will forsake a corporation in order to have a good family life at home. And then what she'll do, she'll have little bake sales. She'll knit some stuff and sell it on the internet, only to sell it and then take that money and to raise up her children. Women, when they have children are the top priority. Why? Because like I said before, what is our purpose to do here on this planet? It is to and die. Reproduce and die. You're here because parents followed that model as well. So did mine. So did their parents. So did your friends. Every human you know, they got here from the and die model. Period. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in the time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. God, that is fire. That is biblical fire on this Sunday. Let me read that again. She looketh well to the ways of her household, she takes care of her house, and eateth not the bread of idleness. She's not sitting around eating bonbons all day, getting fat, complaining. Think about the typical American woman that complains about doing household chores. The American chore system is completely based upon using 3 machines: the dishwasher, the washer, and the dryer. American people in general, they've gotten fat on the land because America was at the top of the world at one point. We were the best nation in the world. Now we're on the decline, and it's an unstoppable decline. Think about it. If the backbone of your stress is oh, I have to take this and then I have to put it into a machine. Got to put it in the dishwasher. I got to put some powder in there and I got to push a button. Oh my God, then I got to take it out after sitting down and waiting for it to be washed and done. The bar is so low in America and they still complain about household chores. Think about it. A woman that comes into your life who's lazy, got to go. And look around in America, fatness and laziness, hand in hand. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. The kids love you. If you're a good mother, your kids love you. And you're a good wife, your husband loves you. If you're neither of those, you're probably up. Many daughters have virtuously done, but thou have excellest them all. This is some fire ass game right here. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. A good woman will either make your life fantastic if you know how to manage it correctly, and a bad woman will just freaking ruin it. Go to Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4. This is fire ass biblical game here. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh him ashamed is as rottenness in his bones. Could you imagine if your bones, inside of your bones, were rotting away? That's the equivalent of having a shitty wife. Shitty wife, life. Happy king, happy kingdom. I have a friend of mine, great guy, fantastic guy. His wife is a complete loser, and she snuffs out any type of productive idea he has anytime. Sometimes he wants to start a business, she on him, says no, just keep your job as an English teacher. He wants to do some kind of side hustle. No, it's not going to work. When you have an awful wife, you're just constantly around negativity and you're constantly around somebody who is dragging you down. It's like you're trying to get to the top, and guess what? You are having a gigantic weight strapped around your neck, like a giant boulder strapped around your neck, and you can do it, but it's going to be 1,000 times harder. This is a classic one. It is better to dwell in the corner of a rooftop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. Basically, this one says, it is better for you to live on the rooftop than share the house with a quarrelsome woman. This is ancient wisdom. No wonder the Democrats want to on Christianity, and now they're coming for Islam with that Cuties movie. They are literally the new modern day NAZIS. Let's go to another one here. Proverbs chapter 21 verse 19 says, it is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. This is what I always talk about. And that woman could also be your mother. A lot of you guys, when you deal with these kind of things, bad woman, oppressive mother, they will pull you into the dirt. A lot of you guys have a mom that's really nasty and controlling that likes to use guilt and shame on you. A lot of moms in America and in the Western world, and sometimes in Asia as well, they treat their sons as de facto husbands. It's really weird. And I think that's why the movie Joker was so popular, because they really took a look at this guy who was single. Quite frankly, he was a loser and kind of controlled by his mom, and she was always kind of telling him these delusions and, you know, just burdening him with taking care of her and hitting on his dreams, as the movie showed. And a lot of guys are dealing with that. I see a lot of moms ruin their kids, man. You know, and when you live in that kind of like oppressive regime, if you will, with a mom that's trying to micromanage you every step of the way, it's really annoying, because these moms that typically try to micromanage their men, I mean, typically these moms, you know, for lack of better words, they're bums. They're collecting welfare. They live in the poverty level of things, you know, like based off their income, they're in poverty, and it's happening a lot. And these chicks, like I said, it's in this biblical wisdom, like they can destroy you. But on the other hand, good women do exist, and a good woman is not going to save you. A good woman is just going to amplify what you already are. And good women have standards as well. I got some guy telling me the other day, he's like, all you talk about MLD is pump and dump, evacuate. Yeah, because that's what the majority of girls are good for these days. A staggering majority. Finding a good girl, that's why the Bible says when you find a good woman, her value is more than rubies. To be a good wife, it is so friggin' hard. And I always say, ejaculate and evacuate, because in order to find this woman, okay, it's gonna take time.